Hey guys, welcome back. First, I want to say thank you for all your feedbacks and comments in my latest leveling build guide. I want to address all the issues concerned with the build, and I will organize it in a step-by-step walkthrough using my leveling footage of my Sorcerer, which I went through the whole campaign in less than 7 hours. This video will be separate into different sections based on the levels so you guys can follow along, and hopefully all the concerns will be addressed. Right as you get to town, you can go ahead and equip all your unique items. Now, one key thing to note here is that the Pillar of the Cage Guard actually requires 10 dexterity, so if you want to use the build right out of the gate, you'll need to buy a Wings of Kalen to provide the initial dexterity. Now with that, we can equip all the unique items that you have prepared in the stash, and the unique items that I'm using are the 2 Black Heart Rings, the North Paw Gloves, Maginot Girdles, Foxhead's Body Armor, Luminous Pace, and of course the Pillar of the Cage Guard. I am taking Grey Mech to swap in at level 5, Carnage Heart to swap in at level 8, and Wanderlust to swap in at level 11. Once done, we'll craft the first skill gems, which is Falling Thunder, and it will be our only attacking skill from level 1 to level 14. Support it with Martial Tempo and Lightning Infusion, then you're good to go. Now from 1 to 14, the permanent stat set you can get in this level range will be killing Beara of the Rotten Pack for plus 10 to cold resistance, kill Crowbell for plus 2 to passive skill points, kill King of the Mist for plus 30 to spirits, and get your first spirit gems, which you should craft Herald Thunder. Then you can suck it in Herald Thunder and support it with Innovate and Elemental Focus. After that, you can go to the Ockham Farmlands and fight Una Lutz for another plus 2 to passive skill points. Then finally, you can kill Candlemass for plus 20 to maximum life. So anyway, from level 1 to 14, you're going to have a great time. The build is very strong at this level, you won't struggle with anything, you definitely don't have any mana issues since we are only using Falling Thunder. Most enemy will go down just 1 or 2 hits, and here's some tips for leveling your ult. You definitely don't need to kill all the optional bosses. Instead, try to kill only the one that provide permanent stat buff. Always keep moving, don't start to fight any strugglers or waste time on them. Instead, try to concentrate on killing large pack of rares or magic mobs and you'll be fine. Additionally, it's crucial to pick up and upgrade your life and mana flash to ensure you have a smooth progression. Okay, so moving on, at level 14, you will unlock Ice Strike. And by this point, you should already have a skill gems at level 5, so use it to craft Ice Strike and supported it with Martial Tempo and Crescendo. So I already have my Tempest spell supported with the Overabundance and Front of Rage, and I use the skill gem level 5 to upgrade it. In my opinion, you should always upgrade your gems even though it might cost more mana, because the damage you do also increase, so that offset the mana cost. If you kill things faster, you will also spend less mana. For your single target rotation, it's actually quite simple. You use Ice Strike 4 times to max out your combo, and then drop the bell. You can back up a little bit, drop the bell in front of the boss, and build up your combo again. And I'm not sure what's wrong with this boss, but maybe I do too much damage. But anyway, when he's come back up, you'll see. Then, yeah, the combinations of Ice Strike and the bell should cleave and should take down bosses pretty easy. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Act 1. As you can see, the boss really just dies super fast once you place the bell down. And I finished Act 1 in less than an hour. Just quickly hover all my gears, nothing really special over here. And all the skills as well. I'm using Ice Strike and Tempest spell pretty much. Herald Thunder doesn't really work, and so that's fine. But I'll just keep it for the futures. And passive skill trees, nothing special. But yeah, let's move on. Moving to Act 2, your main attack skills will be Ice Strike at the start until level 22 when you unlock Stormwave. Ice Strike by itself is a pretty comfy skill to use. It has a mini blink attack and an AoE spin to help with clear as well, so generally you won't run into any issues at all. Make sure you're keeping 1 level 7 uncut skill gems in your inventory when dropped to prepare for the Stormwave swap. Around this level, the only permanent stat buff you can get is by killing the Constrictor Queen in Keth for 2 additional passive points. At level 22, you will unlock Stormwave, which will effectively be your single and AoE clear skills. It's very comfortable to play, it does great damage, and make sure you also add a socket to it with the Lesser Julia Orb. Now you're supported with Upheaval, Martial Temple, and Primo Armament. Make sure that you also grab all the permanent stats from Act 2 as well, which will have the Constrictor Queen here depending on your pathing, and you might encounter her after level 22 like me. Then make sure you grab the final letter from this body here to give Shambrin for +2 to passive points. In the Spire of Deshar, make sure you also explore and click on the Sister of Garukhan's Shrine for +10 to Lightning Rest. There's one thing that I forgot to stress, and it's really important with this build because flat damage does add a lot of damage to the build, and eventually your level 1 Blackheart ring would be enough to clear the whole campaign, obviously. So we'll need to replace our ring at level 28 to 30 right before the Act 2 boss, and a few more time whenever you feel like you're not doing enough damage. So I'll quickly show you how to trade for a flat damage ring that will be best for you and your budget. Alright, so here we are at the trade site, and I just quickly to show you that, okay, you want to look for a ring, you type in the ring here, then you go down into the requirement, and you put in your level, so maximum level 30 because you are level 30. Then you can look for the added line here, and you see we have physical, lightning, and a few more flat damage, right? But for me personally, I'm just gonna use physical and lightning. So we just put these two in here, and then you want to go down here in buyout price and sort it by Exalted Orb, and say you only want your ring to be 10 Exalted max, right? And you type that in, and that's it. You will search all the rings that are under 10 Exalt, and if you click on any of these flattened line right here, it's gonna sort by the best to the worst. So this line right here, as you can see here, this is actually really good. Yeah, this is a crazy good ring for level 28 that adds 16 lightning damage and yeah, a lot of physical damage. I don't know, yeah. So you just search like that, and you see a bunch of ring here that are under 10 Exalt and will add a lot of damage to your build. And you just need to scroll down. And yeah, so I will have a link in the descriptions that give you this exact trade, but as I show you, you can also do the same thing when you are level 45, right before the third bosses in the Act 3. You can do the same thing right before level 50. You can do the same thing. Whenever you feel like you're lacking damage, you just need to go ahead and do this, and you'll find really good rings for cheap. And yeah, that's pretty much how to find the best ring for your level and your budget. With that being said, here are my 2 rings that I switch out at level 26 and 28 right before facing the boss. And as you can see here, this build deals plenty of damage, just enough to clear pretty much everything in the Dreadnought area. For the Act 2 boss fight, I'm not really doing any special rotations. It's basically just keep spamming Stormwave until the boss is dead, and eventually the boss will die. Additionally, you can see here that mana shouldn't really be a problem if you do have mana issues. It's likely that you are lacking the damage to kill boss before running So just go ahead and quickly upgrade your rings with any better rings. Any ring at this level is probably better than the Blackheart ring that you have from level 1. And as you can see here, my mana flask is still pretty much full, so at least for this boss, at least in Act 2, we shouldn't have any mana related problem. So the playtime is around 2 hours, and I still have 0 death. Just quickly show you my gears at the end of Act 2 here. Again, nothing special, but just the 2 ring that I added. For the skills, I'm only using Stormwave, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the Act 2, and let's move on. Starting from Act 3, we'll be using only Stormwave to clear pretty much the entire act up until the final boss. The goal right now is getting your trust up ready, and with my terrible luck in this run, I did not actually get a single level 8 or above spirit gems to drop, and therefore I couldn't swap to the charge staff setup at level 31 when it's available, because I didn't have combat frenzy. Anyway, so kill the mighty silver fist here for 2 passive points. Then you can proceed to kill the Blood Witch if you are unlucky like me to get an uncut spirit gems guarantee. Then you can cut the combat frenzy from this gem, but since it's like a level 10, so I had to wait until I'm level 36 to make the swap. Also, don't forget the permanent stats that you can get by killing Blackjaw the Remnant for 10% virus. And you can find the Venom Vial in the Venom Crypts and give it to Sylvie for 1 special bonus. So anyway, at level 36, you need to make sure that you have the Resonant Keystone allocated, Combat Frenzy Aura activated, and your Storm Wave need to have Electrocute in there, so if you are using a 3-link like me, you can replace Primo Armament with it. So now with the Charge Staff setup completed, you should feel a lot better damage-wise. On bosses, you are able to electrocute them for power charge and then activate Charge Staff and Step Blasting. You also build up stun very quickly, so between the electrocute and stun, this alone trivializes most of the fight. During mapping, if you haven't changed any gear since Act 1, you might feel a little bit squishy, but in practice, electrocute is such a strong form of CC that enemies can't really retaliate at all, so they will just die very fast. One important thing to note is that at level 30, you should also switch your helmet to the Black Sun Crest. And with this helmet, you will start scaling better with attributes, and this helmet will really ramp up by the end of the campaign. And while you're at it, make sure you also stab the heart for another 2 extra passive points. And supposedly at level 41, you can unlock Bow Lightning and can play the Elemental Invocation setup for single targets. However, being as unlucky as I am, once again, I didn't drop a single Spirit Gem, so I ended up just go ahead and fight Doyani with just Storm Wave. I did get a ring upgrade though, but it's nothing too special. In fact, even if I didn't upgrade the ring, I'm pretty sure I would still kill the boss with no problem. Another thing I want to add is that you can see that I'm actually using melee attack as well. This is what I actually recommend for people that have mana issues, because you can use the melee attack with pretty much any kind of succubus gems. In here, I'm using Soul Thief, Lightning Infusions, and Execute for extra execute damage, I guess. I really think it's not necessary, but in here, I just kind of want to showcase for people that are having issues with this boss and on this build in particular. And yeah, I mean, if you are switching to the Elemental Invocation setup and you're not doing enough damage, maybe you can try it out with just the Storm Wave setup, make it a lot simpler. The rotation is, there's no rotations, right? And I'll talk a bit later on the single target damage rotation with the Elemental Invocations, but for now, just, enjoy the boss fight here. It does take a little bit longer because this is not the single target damage setup. But yeah, ultimately, I don't really mind it because this build still pump out really consistent damage with the Storm Wave. The boss is, as you can see, electrocute into stuns, into pretty much not doing anything. So that's pretty much the fight in Act 3. My playtime is about 3 hours and 20 minutes, so I think that's pretty good. I still have 0 death, even though, people said this build is kind of squishy. My skill gem setups is pretty much the same setup as Just type. I do have Tempest Flurry setup, but like I said, I don't have Elemental Invocations because I got 0 Spit Gem drops. So yeah, I'm still rocking the setup. Anyways, my gears is the same. I just pick up the ring that I showed you earlier because I didn't hover it in this clips. But anyway, let's move on. Starting from the crew campaign, I won't talk about the permanent stats anymore as they are relatively the same with the normal campaign, minus the King of the Mist fight in Act 1. So I'll just leave it there on the left side of the screen. Anyway, at level 46, I finally unlock Elemental Invocations, and that's our single target damage setup. You need to use a lesser Jeweler Orbs on the Elemental Invocations and suck it in Bolt Lightning. Now, you might have noticed that Bolt Lightning also requires 95 int minimum, and for some classes, that might be too dumb to equip it, so the solution is either respect your passive point to int, or you can get the attribute stats on rings, amulets, and just pick your poison to meet the minimum requirements. So using Elemental Invocations in our single target damage setups mean that we'll burn through our mana very quickly, but we will also do a lot of damage. But I do understand that people who go out of mana very quickly and don't kill the bosses mean that they are doing the rotation incorrectly. So let me break down the correct rotation for you so you can start one-shotting bosses with this setup. First, we are going to electrocute the boss. Then we are activating Charge Staff. Then we'll attack with Tempest Flurry to build up 4 combo for the bell and 5 elemental invocation stacks. At this point, you will drop the bell first and then release elemental invocations at 5 stacks for it to release a lot of ball lightning, and the ball lightning will overlap with the bell to do a lot of damage. And yeah, as you can see here, the boss literally just melt. And I just want to highlight the fact that if you're doing the rotation correctly, you shouldn't really running into mana issues because the boss will just die in 1 or 2 rotations without any issues. So yeah, I finished the axe, dying a little bit, some random death because my gear is still from Act 1, right? Oh, and another quick tips for everyone that is wondering if not upgrading gems can save mana. I actually recommended upgrade your gems to the max level always because you can do this kind of damage, right? And the boss, if the boss die in 1 or 2 rotation or even 3, it doesn't really matter if you're running out of mana or not because you're setting out the same thing and you're running either way. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the guide part of the video. And now let's talk a little bit about the showcase. I just want to quickly show you how this build clear. This is in the Dreadnought area in Act 2 crew, which is usually quite dangerous. This build basically electrocute everything, and yeah, you are really never in dangers unless you're not paying attention. The mana consumptions can be a little bit high, but if you're killing everything, you will also gain the charge back. And as I mentioned before, keep upgrading your mana and life flask because it's very important that you do so. By the way, I have no ideas why or how, but the Act 2 final boss seems to be a lot more tankier than the other bosses in the campaign. Just so you know, if you do run into problem with this boss, I feel like I do too. And just to quickly show you on the screen are the 2 final ring slot upgrade for my characters run during this campaign. Overall, I think this build is actually quite strong. You don't really need to change a lot of stuff. Basically, the playstyle is pretty much the same. You get the single target damage setups. Your gears didn't really change too much. You just need to upgrade your ring slots. And again, remember that you can use the same gear pretty much for your next characters if you want to level another one. So that's what I'm actually doing. This is my 3rd characters now. I have warriors that I'm leveling as well. And I'm still really enjoying the setups. And yeah, as you can see here, I'm running really low on mana. I kind of messed up the single target damage rotation here. That's why I'm running low on mana. So yeah, it does happen to the best of us. If it happened to you, obviously you can reset the fight. You can use auto attack to finish the boss. And here are pretty much the gears. I play for 5 hours now and have about 5 deaths. So yeah, it's not too bad. Now, in Act 3, our build actually does not fall off damage-wise. We do a lot more damage. All the passive skill points are coming up together nicely. All the attributes are popping off and we do a lot more damage. People are also saying that this build is squishy and it's glass cannon, but while technically it's true, part of being tanky is actually coming from your gears. So if you want to be tankier, just grab gears with better maximum life, better resistance, and maybe grab some evasion gears as it's pretty strong in the campaign. You can also change your aura to run Wind Dancer, and it could help with some tankiness. Another thing I would just want to say is that personally I'm using all my build guide to level my alt characters, so I will continue to optimize all of them. There will be some discrepancy in information out there, but I'm not trying to intentionally misleading you or making this build guide to be weak or anything. I'm not saying this is the best build, but this is what I'm personally leveling with, and I will level multiple characters as I'm trying to test out a lot of build in the game, right? In my opinion, this build is flexible enough so that you can play without ascend, right? My character is essentially a sorcerer right now, and I don't really have to go into any ascendancy to achieve this kind of power. This is an endgame area, and all the mobs here are very, very dangerous. And I'm still using the same gear from Act 1, beside upgrading my rings. So, yeah, it has the flexibility. It has the, I'm just too lazy to upgrade gears during campaigns. So, if I can use the same set of gear across like multiple characters and even the characters that are not released yet, knowing that I can do the same thing, I would gladly do it again. But yeah, this is the final boss fight of the campaign, and I'll quickly flash my gear at the end of this fight. And for people that are wondering if you should try it out, if you're wondering if the build work at all, here's the proof, right? And if you have any questions, you feel free to ask me in Discord, in YouTube comment sections, and I'll gladly to help you get through the campaign. In hindsight, I didn't really foresee a lot of problem that people are having. I know a lot of my viewers are beginners, but again, when I first played this build through the campaign on the witch character, it went really smooth. So yeah, I thought I just want to put it out. I kind of overlooked the fact that I didn't mention specifically or stress enough on the fact that you should upgrade your rings. Yeah, so anyway, that was pretty much the only problem that I can see. And yeah, I finished the campaign in under 7 hours, doing pretty much everything needed for the alt characters. And that's my gears. Nothing really special. Again, all the gems, 3 links. And you can see the amount of damage that we do, and we don't really run into any issues. So once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and hope you have a nice holidays, and I'll see you in the next one.